Welcome back to the YouTube channel, everybody. Hope you all are having a wonderful, beautiful fall day like I am here in the Midwest. Taking it all in, taking the falling leaves, taking in the nature, the fresh smell of grass, you know, the simple pleasures in life. But anyways, I saw today that Dr. Fauci is now coming out saying that he is upset that people are saying that he gave bad information and bad advice for the pandemic.
So what's the biggest misconception about you?
You know, I don't know, John. I think the misconception is that I was misleading people. You know, to say that I, who have been advisor to 7 presidents and have never, ever veered one way or the other from an ideological standpoint, for somebody to say that, you know, I'm...
Political.
Yeah, political. I mean, that's completely crazy.
What do you say? What do you say? I saw this coming a mile away, 10 miles away, 100 miles away. These people had their narratives. These people had their ideologies being spout during the COVID pandemic. They had a monopoly on information. Dr. Fauci sat up in his chair and prescribed his solutions to the American people and the world with no recourse, with no sort of scientific checking of his facts. In fact, I remember seeing a certain drug that I will not name for purposes that you may understand as a viewer. But Fauci came out and said many times that this drug was ineffective for treating this said disease. You guys can imagine what I'm talking about. Well, now we have studies that are coming out saying that this drug actually was effective to treat the disease. And the science, and we're having countries coming out now and saying that this drug is effective in treating this said disease. And the science itself was available when Mr. Fauci decided to say these things. So, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. This man got away with high crimes, in my humble opinion. It'll be interesting to see if the Republicans take back the House, if they have some sort of insight or oversight committee or investigation into how Mr. Fauci devised some of his policies and plots during the whole pandemic. But my hope is this. My hope is that this situation provides us with some insight the next time that we get into a pandemic, okay? Any sort of centralization of power is really a problem in just about every scenario. So, what can we learn from Fauci's single-handedly draconian bureaucratic rule? What we can learn is that, God forbid if the U.S. and the world sees another pandemic in the near future, maybe we shouldn't take action with the most powerful response possible, unless we have science that says that this certain disease is deadlier to a much higher factor than the previous disease was deadly. Okay? Maybe overprotection, maybe over-responding to a certain pandemic or disease is not the right answer. And in my opinion, this is what happened during the past pandemic, especially with Dr. Fauci. We had a monopoly on information that came forth. We had a government colluding with social media to put forth their message. They said, if you disagree with this narrative, you'll be banned, you'll be censored, and you're dangerous. And time and time again, we have seen these individuals that have gotten banned for saying, oh, this drug helps with this disease, or the disease itself is not as deadly as we thought it was. Those people got deplatformed, they got removed from these social media platforms, right? What we have seen in response is that all these things that people got banned for came out to be true. That is the beauty of free speech. And I think that's what I'm going to title this video. Why does free speech matter? Why? Case in point, the previous pandemic and what we learned from it. Those who have an authoritarian type of ideology would say the best solution is to limit speech, which is dangerous, to protect society, right? The free speech absolutists would argue, let everybody speak their mind, the truth will rise to the top. The draconian would argue that we need to limit certain speech because we don't know if it's true. The free speech absolutists would argue we need to enable all speech because we're never going to be able to find the truth unless everybody can speak their mind, right? And that is the core issue with social media and free speech and censorship and Dr. Fauci. No singular opinion should have superiority unless it is deemed to be true and verified to be true. What we had is more and more seemingly a nefarious plot by certain entities that were able to take advantage of this power grab that happened during COVID out of fear, out of stoking fear in the masses and limiting information we had available to us and limiting the proper response that we could have taken. That's concerning, guys. That's concerning. So, this is why free speech matters. Dr. Fauci, you are not exempt from the principles that our founders put in place with our country. Free speech should be enabled for everybody. I only dream of a time where YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and all these things enable free speech just about to a T, outside of the obvious restrictions that are already limited, that already exist, limiting free speech. For example, yelling fire in a crowded theater, making actual death threats, these types of things. And what's funny is these things actually exist on social media right now. Some people can openly threaten others with death and get away with it. So it's like, what's going on here? But anyways, I might put the video of Fauci that I saw in this video about misinformation, but him saying that he's concerned that people are going to think he misled others. Well, yeah, you misled others. You went against the science. You went against what we found out to be true, and you had the facts. You had the science right here, and you said, I'm not going to look at that. Or maybe you actually, even worse, looked at the science and then said, you know what? I'm going to do the opposite of what the science says because it's convenient for me, whether it be politically, morally, definitely not morally, politically, socially, powerfully wise, whatever you had commitments to, whoever you had commitments to, that's why you did what you did. And it's just unfortunate. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think down below of Mr. Fauci's comments. Let me know what you guys think down below of freedom of speech and censorship and how we can make a difference. If you saw my previous video about Jim Acosta, my answer would be, and you would know this, develop alternatives, keep fighting the good fight, hold near and dear to your heart the principles that America was founded on. It's the most beautiful country in the world. It's the best country in the world. I'm not ashamed to say it. Love your country. That's pretty much it. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe here if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.